Director of UNEP, to deliver these remarks as we gather during this official session to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the United Nations Environmental Programme under the theme Strengthening United Nations Environment Programme for the implementation of the environmental dimension of the 2030 Agenda for Sustained Development. Your Excellencies, the United Nations Environment Programme 50 is a time to reflect on the past and envision the future. It provides the opportunity to bolster international cooperation and stimulate collective action to address the triple planetary crisis of climate change, nature and biodiversity loss, and pollution and waste. As we all know, no country or continent can address this global crisis alone. Each nation has a central role to play in protecting our people and planet. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, 50 years ago, after United Nations Conference on the Human Environment in Stockholm in June 1972, with the efforts of Ambassador Maurice Strong of Canada, many governments became convinced of the need to make climate and environment action a priority. And with Maurice Strong as United Nations Environment Programme's first executive director, the path was clear to what nations need to do make our environment safer, healthier, and better. During last year's COP26 in Glasgow, parties worked towards spurring action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, while also pledging to take steps to adapting to climate impacts. Nations are constantly facing the threats of disrupted weather patterns, low food production, and rising sea levels that increase the risk of catastrophic flooding, among other challenges. In that regard, Nigeria pledged to work with other countries in achieving the goals of the Paris Agreement, and in doing so has increased her conditional contribution to reduce greenhouse gas from 45% to 47%. Additionally, I outlined Nigeria's efforts and commitments towards transitioning to net zero ambition, which involve both environment and development-related plans. As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of United Nations Environment Programme's existence, we laud the efforts of United Nations Environment Programme and encourage broader action to outcome climate change, biodiversity, rising levels of pollution and waste being three major crises threatening our planet. Notably, desertification and drought are threatening lives and livelihoods, which further underscores the need to boost biodiversity in ecosystem restoration. We thank the United Nations Environment Programme for its role in reducing biodiversity loss and for being a major player in the global movement to slow deforestation, accelerate afforestation. We recognize that restoring key ecosystems is crucial to help combat climate change and achieve sustainable development. Therefore, by collaborating with partners such as the United Nations Environment Programme, we believe that much more success would be recorded as we journey in collective struggle against climate change. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to thank my dear brother, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, for his invitation and the very warm hospitality extended to our delegation. In the same way, I would like to thank the Ministers of Environment and their team for their commitment and active participation during the resumed 5th session of the United Nations General Assembly, which preceded the commemorative event. Similarly, I heartily congratulate the leadership of United Nations Environment Programme as we commemorate and celebrate your successes and achievements in the last 50 years. I take this opportunity to urge redoubled collective efforts to improve and sustain climate action, nature action, chemical and pollution action, air, biosafety, disasters and conflicts, green economy, gender, oceans and seas, resource efficiency, water and youth education in order to save our planet and achieve the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you to President Buhari of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the compelling and comprehensive statement. Thank you very much. Excellent.
Republic of Nigeria